What is going on, guys? It's Icarus here, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry about the whole not being able to post this on time. I usually upload a video once every week at least, and I'm sorry for that. It's just there was some problems with my microphone. It was breaking down, and I really needed to fix it, and that's what I just did. So thank you for waiting. I'm very sorry, but let's just get into this review. So without further ado, here is the review that I promised around 2-3 days ago. With that out of the way, we can more or less start our basic plot of the movie. The movie more or less takes place in our main character's perspective, Ince, or Mr. Ince as I like to call him, because I can't fucking remember his first name, and I want to be completely honest, his character is fairly flawed, but let's leave all that shit to the end of the review, and let me just explain the basic plot so you can start drawing your own conclusions before I give you mine. The whole entire movie more or less takes place within, I would say, a day and 2 hours in universe time. The first day they spend on developing his character and being able to put him into room 1408, but I would say it was mostly used to dump exposition down our throats. So what is the grand scheme or the grand plot of this movie? Well, it's fairly simple. Mr. Ince goes to a hotel that isn't real, and that isn't scary, that isn't haunted, that literally means dick all. He goes to a book signing event that really adds zero fucking things to the plot. Like, I shit you not, I watched that whole entire part, and I was like, I could have just edited that out, and the movie could have been completely the same. You would have taken away the same thing. But after that, he finally hears the dolphin. The people at the dolphin are like, yeah, guy, that hotel room is fucking haunted. And since he won't listen to, like, the courtesy up front, he asks for the manager, and the manager is fucking Sam Jackson, and even Sam Jackson says, dude, don't fucking go in here, I will give you some expensive fucking booze, and you can just leave, you could stay in one of the other rooms, like the one right beside it, it's no different, but it doesn't have the whole killing yourself at the end of the same night. He really gives him logical outs for Ince, but Ince is just like, no, fuck it, it's just a fucking room, although it really isn't just a fucking room, and he is about to get his shit fucked up. So he starts staying in the room, and he's more or less like, oh, it's not that bad at start, and then the room starts getting scary, and when I mean scary, they more or less give us a whole bunch of jump scares. Well, it's not like back to back to back to back to back, it's fairly consistent, and you can see that that's what they were really riving on the audience to be afraid of. And then after all of these jump scares, he tries to leave the room. It doesn't fan out, and apparently it is day. I shit you not, you're seeing it right in front of your eyes. Apparently it's day. But I digress. We're more or less seeing him like, oh shit, I can't leave the room, I can't leave the room and go to another room, I can't do anything because this place is like a fucking trap. So he goes through the first hour, and the receptionist, which is actually the room incarnate, saying, hey, you survived an hour, good job for you. I know that you probably feel like shit now. Do you want to die? And I literally, that's exactly what it's like. And I'm kind of sitting here thinking, what the fuck? Well, they are a little less blunt as I just described it. That is what they're trying to get across, and it's not fucking scary. I'm sorry, it's not scary. The person on the other end of the line is just like really nice, like a really nice receptionist. I don't know who the chick that voices that phone call girl, lady, whatever, receptionist, but she did a pretty bang up job. I mean, she sounds like she actually worked at a receptionist desk, and I think that is like good on you. So he's like, yeah, no, fuck it, I'm not hanging myself. So he endures another hour of torture, finally contacts his ex-wife, which we already had a subplot about, or at least a sort of subplot. And of course, spoilers, we hear that Ince has a dead daughter, and that's what the movie mostly fucks with you about. Oh, this kid's dead, and her dad is really fucked up about it. He's really fucked up about it. Feel bad for him, and they try playing kid sympathy, and it just does not work. Well, if it was in anybody else's hands, I feel like it could have worked. They could have really, and I mean really, added on the drama or emotion. Whoever wrote or directed it just didn't give a fuck. And I'm sorry for, like, saying such rude things and having such lewd language, but they literally didn't give any fucks. And if that's the case, if that's how they want to be, especially when they're dealing with something like childhood cancer, yeah, childhood cancer or childhood disease, it doesn't really matter if it's cancer or not at this point. Childhood disease, then I shouldn't give any fucks either. But now let me just digress. At the near end of the movie, they have a kind of emotional scene. And while it didn't help the movie a lot, I feel like it did bolster my opinion, saying that, hey, this movie isn't all bad, right? And the scene is fairly emotional. The room is more or less fucking with him, giving back his daughter. But when you first see it, it looks like he actually overcome the room. Like, the room's in pieces. It's all ash. It's fucked up. It looks like it's morning. It looks like a new day is about to start. And if they would have walked out of the room together, this could have been a decent character study, but it doesn't. And even then, I wouldn't even say it would be a decent character study, because we really don't get that much about Ince. But whatever. He more or less loses his daughter again. He snaps. The room's like, you want to kill yourself now? He says, no, fuck it. You know what? Yes. Lights the room on fire. Says, if I'm dying, you're dying too. So, peace out. Throws the bottle of booze with a fucking cloth and fire, makes a improvised Molotov, basically, throws it and says, fuck it, while smoking a cigarette and watching the place burn down. He gets rescued, of course, and we're left wondering, is the room fucking with him or not? Because earlier in the movie, of course, we see that the room took him out of the room, but it didn't. And they tore it down, and that's where the whole emotional scene came in, with the kid and losing the kid, and then lighting it on fire and whatnot. So that is the basic plot of Room 1408. Now, here are my final thoughts on the movie. My final thoughts of the movie is this. It is, at its basis level, a fairly boring movie, but a movie nonetheless. It is an okay film if you can get past not having very, very developed characters, and instead look into the room as being the main character, because if there's anything that this movie does good, it does suspense and all that very well. The thing is that if you're looking for superior acting, you won't find any. Besides that receptionist lady that's in the like in the first hour when Ince is done and is like, yo, you want to kill yourself? There's no other real good acting in the movie. It's bland, it's generic, but it's a film nonetheless. My rating for it is simply a 5 out of 10. Harmless, but not anywhere near good enough to call it great or even fairly good. So, thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace freaking out.